What is going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are talking about Tariq. Tariq is one of the best infantry commanders in the game for rallying in 2024, and he has been requested to be the next commander in the Is This Commander Worth It in 2024 series I have been doing. If you guys have missed the previous videos, there are plenty already, probably at least 10 videos of Is This Commander Worth It in 2024. So make sure you guys do check out that series if there's any commanders you're wondering about. But today the topic is Tariq ibn Ziyad. He came out, what was it, like mid 2023? Actually, early 2023, end of 2022. That's crazy. I thought he came out way later than that. But he's been around for a while, at over a year now. And he is a commander that actually sparked some controversy in one of my previous kingdoms. And that was Kingdom 2247. If you guys missed the drama video I posted, it's probably one of my top videos right now if you go to most popular on my channel. And so I was actually one of the top ranked places for Tariq. I believe I got like 90 sculptures from him. And, I have 110 invested in him right now from, other stuff. But he is a commander I still have not used. And it's because I was going to be one of the rally leads in my previous kingdom. And then I, decided I was going to be migrating. And then, that changed a couple of things and I haven't used him. But using Tariq, is he worth using in 2024? And if so, is he actually worth using in the open field, or is he only worth it in rallying? So obviously rallying, I don't think I even have to answer that question. He is 100% worth rallying with in 2024. Him and Pakal is the best rally for infantry right now, in my opinion. Obviously, if you can run, with the open field controlled, running Tariq and Sargon is really great as well. However, this was one commander that I predicted was going to bring back Pakal. If you guys remember that, I did say that, the new infantry rally was going to revive Pakal, and people called me crazy. And sure enough, he revived Pakal. And so Tariq Pakal is one of the best rallies in the game for infantry because it's just literally unswarmable. If you swarm it, it will hurt like crazy. So it's amazing for, pass fights, it's amazing for forts, and really, really great for flags too. You don't have to have the field, but he will still do a ton of damage. So we'll go over his kit and we'll talk about whether or not he's actually worth it for the open field or if he's really just a rallying commander. So he is an infantry conquering and defense commander, which typically when we see conquering commanders, they are not the best in the open field. Yes, there are some, some commanders that will have conquering tree that still are usable in the open field, but having defense also makes it a little bit tough too. Ideally, you want to see the skill or the attack tree when it comes to, open field viability, especially with infantry. So when we were looking at Tariq, his first skill will deal direct damage to a target troop of 2200 damage factor. If this troop is surrounded, the skill deals additional damage of 300. This is why he's so good with Pakal as well, because he hurts you even more if you swarm him. And, on the open field, this is a good skill as well because it does punish people for swarming you. So this is still a very, very great skill, even in the open field. The only thing it's missing is that AoE. So if you are going to use in the open field, you absolutely need an AoE commander with him. Now his second skill. This commander's infantry units gain 40% attack and deal 10% more damage to cav units. That is awesome. While outside Alliance territory, their infantry units also gain 10% march speed. This is amazing. Obviously, 40% attack, you'd rather have defense or health, but we'll take that. Having extra damage bonus to calves is phenomenal, especially because calves rule the open field right now. There's just so many cav units, like everyone's running at least 2 cav units right now. So having the extra damage bonus to cavalry is phenomenal, and having extra march speed on infantry is really great as well, because typically infantry is very slow. His third skill is a passive skill, and if this commander's troop is attacking a city or stronghold, infantry units will gain 30% defense. Whenever their troop launches a basic attack, it has a 30% chance to reduce the target's normal damage dealt by 30% for 3 seconds, cooldown of 8 seconds. So obviously, this is not really worth it at all for open field unless you are swarming a structure, which most people are not going to be. So we can just disregard the skill for the open field. His fourth skill, this commander's troop deals 15% more damage. That is insane. Whenever their troop launches a basic attack, has a 10% chance to reduce the target's rage by 80 per second for 3 seconds. Now that is insane as well. Reducing your target's rage by essentially 240 rage is crazy. Like that's 25% of their total rage for an active skill. And the fact that it's over time is pretty interesting as well, because instead of just like all at once of like minus 240 rage, because that could, if they're at 0 rage, it doesn't do anything. But the over time rage reduction is actually really good, because if you have it all at once, you have the chance of not getting the full 240. And sure, you still have that chance if they're at 0 rage, you don't get that first 80, but you do get the second 80 and the third 80. So you're at least getting 160 rage reduction on them, but this is still a really great skill. Plus the just plain 15% damage bonus is phenomenal as well for the open field. Now his expertise will increase his active skill. So with the expertise, it will deal direct damage to a target troop, damage factor of 2500, and if his commander's troops is surrounded, this skill deals extra direct damage to the target, damage factor 300, times the number of surrounding troops up to damage factor 900. So up to 3 times surrounded. So if you're 5x surrounded or more, you're not really getting the benefit of this to its full potential, but it's still really good. Increasing your active skill by 300 is awesome, and increasing your punishment for being surrounded is great as well. Really, 4 out of the 5 skills are for the open field, which is exactly what you want to see. Obviously, 5 out of 5 would be great, but only losing 1 skill is pretty decent, in the grand scheme of things, especially for a conquering commander. So now what pairings could you run with Tariq? Now, obviously, Tariq Pakal, amazing for rallies. Personally, I would not really run that open field. You could, but it's going to be, less damage output, more about getting swarmed down. So if you're not getting swarmed, it's kind of like running Pakal Herald, where it can do really well, but you're not really doing a whole lot for the open field in terms of value. You're not really debuffing or buffing anything. You're kind of just there to do damage, which isn't horrible. Like there's commanders like that I highly suggest, like Luce, for example. So there is a benefit to that of just doing a ton of damage, but with that situation, you're also lacking AoE entirely. So having just single target damage kind of sucks. Now, another pairing I've seen is Tariq and Sargon. Same kind of situation where it's still all single target damage, which you don't love for the open field. Yes, when you attach to something, you will wreck it, but you won't do, open field damage, if that makes sense. You're not going to do, tons of damage to multiple enemies. You're going to do damage to one enemy, which obviously you'd rather do AoE. Now, one of the best options for Tariq is going to be Scipio Prime. Scipio Prime and Tariq is an amazing combo for the open field. And for people that have Tariq, I recommend this pairing, because this pairing is going to be exactly what you need for the extra AoE that Scipio brings, especially the more damage is going to be awesome. You do get the extra march speed as well on top of the Tariq march speed. I'm not sure if that actually stacks, but you will be getting march speed regardless, because it looks like it's pretty much the same skill, but you should get at least the 15% march speed and then the additional 10% that you get from Scipio. And then, you have the extra 10% from Tariq as well. And obviously with Scipio, you're doing extra damage and you're increasing your health, as well as punishing for taking skill damage. So you're also giving yourself some extra tankiness here that, Tariq really needs, especially if he's getting swarmed. And really just going to punish them even more because you're reducing the damage that you're taking. You're giving yourself a shield and up to 3 nearby enemies. So you're buffing, which is exactly what Tariq is missing. And then with the expertise, you're dealing an additional 10% more damage, and you can gain more rage as well if the target is silenced. So if you have a Guan running around with you, or if one of your allies does, you can do more damage as well. So this, in my opinion, is the best combo for Tariq for the open field, is pairing him with Scipio. I have seen some people run with Pyrus, or Pyrus, however you say his name. But, I think he would be better with Luce if you're going to run him in the open field. I've seen tons of whales run him with Luce and just demolish people, because his kit is actually not that bad for a KVK1 commander, but obviously you can do a lot better in Season of Conquest. Obviously you have better commander options, but if you're a whale and if you have him expertise, definitely could use him. But if we're going to be using Scipio and Tariq, you'd want to have Scipio primary, Tariq secondary, in my opinion. Just because if people see a Tariq in the field, they're probably going to try to swarm it down because they think that, it doesn't really have anything behind it. Probably thinks it has a Pakal or a Sargon behind it, if anything, because people are going to be rallying with that. So they probably expect to see that with an open field as well. But if you have Tariq and Scipio, you're going to be punishing people for swarming you, and you're also going to be doing a lot of damage. So I think that's a really great option. But would I use Tariq in the open field? Personally, I would run Tariq in the open field, but I just don't really have the option to right now. If I was running 3 infantry marches, for sure he'd be in there. I think he definitely could be in your 2 march with the infantry, but if you want to run him with like Luce, you definitely could as well. I feel like Luce could be paired with literally anything and do really, really well. Obviously there's a lot of flexibility with Luce, so you can kind of move him around and then just pair your Scipio with Tariq. Because obviously Scipio and Luce is the best march in the game right now, in my opinion. But Scipio and Tariq is also really, really solid for infantry. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about Tariq and whether or not you'd pair him in the open field, or if you think he is strictly just a rallying commander in 2024. Thanks for checking out the video. Have a great rest of your day.